Thanks again to the canon information from the Avatar Legends role-playing game, we now have new information about the first trans character in the franchise, and she's a waterbender not unlike Unalaq. Let's dive in and see what she's all about. Hey folks, my name is Antoine, your resident geek, and today we'll be diving into the all-new character, Makittuq. Okay, I know for sure I'm probably saying that incorrectly, but we're gonna go with Makittuq. As a note, all information from this point on is coming within a 4-year period in the Avatar timeline, between Fire Lord Sozin's coronation in 58 BG, before the Airbender genocide, to Avatar Roku's wedding in 54 BG. Also, for anyone coming in with any insensitive commentary about this character, I'll let you know right now that you can take that energy somewhere else. Trans people exist, they're a very real thing. Adding them to a fantasy world is not politics, it's a reflection of people who actually walk the earth with the rest of us. And honestly, it's really not that deep. As always, this information is all being sourced from the canon Avatar Legends role-playing game. If you want to stay up to date as I go through my coverage of all the new lore, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a thing. The Avatar Legends role-playing game describes Makittuq as a tall woman with a broad smile, a powerful waterbender helming from the north. Seemingly, she was born as a male, but as she grew up, she seemed to lean more to female gender roles. This isn't highlighted in the canon text, but it's very likely she spent a lot of her time with the female healers of the north, rather than the male warriors where she would have been sent off to. This completely tracks with what we've seen from the northern water tribes before, particularly their sexist outlook about what kinds of benders can play certain roles. I ran about that whole bottle of mess in this video if you're interested, but the too long did not watch version is that the northern water tribes were sort of dumb for cutting the might of their military force in half because they shunned female warriors. But continuing on with Makittuq, the text says that her family rejected her need to live openly as her true identity, and she was likely shunned for her queer sensibilities. Because of this, she found solace in interacting with spirits who understood her true self. And it was because of this connection that Makittuq was able to develop the ability to spirit bend, just like Unalaq hundreds of years later. To me, spirit bending was always closer to waterbending healing than combative waterbending. So it makes a lot of sense that this character would develop the technique. If we are to assume that she spent a lot of her time with the female healers, the two abilities go hand in hand. Plus, if she spent most of her time with spirits rather than humans, then that makes a stronger case for this scenario. But the foundation for Makittuq's development might have come from a more pragmatic foundation rather than a pure spiritual connection. According to the text, she had to quell some of the spirits she interacted with because they were unbalanced. At first, I thought this was possibly because of the dragon deaths happening over in the Fire Nation, which we talk about in this video, but the Northern Water Tribe is far, far off from the Fire Islands. Plus, it's outright stated that Makittuq protects the northern capital of qel'a, well away from the Fire Nation. So perhaps there is some other conflict that is angering the spirits in that location for whatever reason. And it seems that Makittuq was the inventor of spirit bending altogether. Or at the very least, she picked up a long-lost ability when the spirits lived among humans prior to the era of Wan. These thoughts led me to think about the legacy Makittuq might have left behind for future waterbenders. As we know, the sexist culture of the water tribes would persist for a couple hundred more years, well into Aang's era. Major changes likely did not occur until the construction of Republic City and Aang's adult years. By the time of Korra, we get subtle hints of the changes made to the Northern Water Tribe, straight from the royal family. First, with the patriarch, Unalaq, whose primary technique is spirit bending, an ability, as I said before, which is far more akin to healing, which was supposed to be a female trait by design, rather than because of their inherent ability. Then you have Unalaq's children, Desna and Eska, who are entirely androgynous. And considering they are all leaders of their tribes, it's very likely other young people emulated them, fighting against past norms and favoring a culture and look that did not have a divide between male and female, thus allowing for something like spirit bending to manifest, or fashion that could be worn by anyone. And I would like to think that in some small way, Makittuq influenced that change, even if it did take several generations for it to happen. And that's it. In the next video in this series, we'll continue taking a deeper look at the water tribes and what they were up to during Roku's era. From a tidal wave that nearly caused a war, to Roku's waterbending master, and more. And tell me what was the most interesting bit of information you discovered in this video. Do you think that Makittuq was the inventor of spirit bending? Was she a cultural influence for future generations? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more Avatar content just like this. I'll catch you on the next one, and as always, peace, love, and remember, be water, my friends.